Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. All right. I can't believe that Ronny Jackson has never been in the crosshairs of this channel before, but there's a story on CNN that Ronny Jackson, who was a admiral, lower class in the Navy, after an inspector general investigation into reports of him drinking on the job, yelling at subordinates, and acting basically in an unprofessional manner, got bumped down from an admiral to a captain in the Navy. He's since retired. He's now a representative and a Trumper in Texas. You remember Ronny Jackson as the doctor that examined Trump in 2018, claimed he was in great health, and didn't discuss any evidence of the heart disease that they found. And, it's the guy that said Trump weighed 239 pounds, which he doesn't weigh 239 pounds. He's closer to 300. But, that was... that's just what we were dealing with. Think about how long... The gaslighting started from day one with Trump. From the crowd size, you can look at pictures and see that clearly he was lying. It just went from there. Well, Mr. Jackson here apparently has borne the price of some of his involvement with this. So come on down. This is a potato chip reading. Nobody cares about Ronny Jackson other than wanting him to go away. Entertainment purposes only. What's the energy around Ronny Jackson and this Inspector General's investigation that got him bumped down a rank? Entertainment purposes only. Deck is upside down. In the central part of the reading, the signifier card is the strength card. I would say that what we have here is a lack of strength of character. When you're an admiral in the Navy, or when you're an officer in the Navy, you are held to very high standards. And as you work up the ranks, you think of the rank of captain as somebody who's in charge of a ship, something along those lines. You're responsible for the ship and the crew. And now he's one step above that as a rear admiral. And I guess rear admirals have two steps. They have a lower class and an upper class. That would be like a 1-star versus a 2-star general. You have to have a lot of strength of character. You don't yell at subordinates. I mean, yeah, that can happen from time to time, but it shouldn't be a recurring issue. Drinking on the job is definitely not it. If you've got some issues, you need to get them addressed. So to me, this is kind of a lack of strength of character card. And because he did not show the appropriate strength, he's being held accountable. And this is him being bumped down a rank because you're not acting, you're not acting in the manner of a rear admiral. Now, again, inspecting Trump as a doctor and lying about his weight, lying about his heart conditions. There was no reason for that. You can be honest. It is what it is. If Trump doesn't like his weight, guess what? He can change his diet. He can exercise more. He can make lifestyle changes to address that. In the past King of Cups, okay, Ronny Jackson appears that he's a very emotional person. You got the cup in the hand. I won't really go much more than that as far as what that can symbolize. But no, he was in charge. He was, again, a rear admiral. He was a doctor to the President of the United States. You have responsibilities that you need to take care of. Current situation, 9 of Swords. It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to him, but, your peers all know what happened. And the funny thing in one of the stories I read is that folks in Congress, this apparently, as I look down here, the Navy took administration action in July of 2022. They still refer to him as Admiral Ronny Jackson, even though he's a captain. And I believe I saw something saying on his own personal website he refers to himself as Admiral. I need to go check that out. Hang on for a second here. Okay, so on his U.S. representative site and his About Me, it just says like in 2019 he retired as a Rear Admiral, which is technically true, but he's not a Rear Admiral. You know, they've conveniently left out the part that he's been bumped down in rank. Fortunately, somebody updated his Wikipedia page to include that. But, you know, there's just, again, a lack of integrity. And as I call out the Knight of Swords cards, I'm expecting the Seven of Cup card to pop in here because that's the integrity card. The man is lacking integrity. He's really learning well how to parse words. Yeah, it's factual to say that in 2019 you retired as a Rear Admiral, but then you don't complete the rest of the story. They call that lying by omission. And what rank are you now? Why are you no longer a Rear Admiral? He doesn't want to deal with it. He's got his personal issues. You know, again, they talk about his drinking and berating people. Guess what? Guess who's probably still doing it today? He is. Why? Because he obviously has some self-esteem issues, or he's got personal problems that are not dealt with, and he hasn't developed the skills. He is still, you know, he's too weak and hasn't shown the effort to take the skills. You don't want to take Alcoholics Anonymous? You're not going to go to anger management classes? You're not going to do anything? You're just going to, you know, you're however old you are, 60, 70, however old he is. That's just the way you're going to be? Nice. When the Navy did the investigation, you know, again, it broadcast. I think that's part of the nightmare, is that, you know, again, his peers know because the Navy broadcast it. This wasn't something that was done quietly. It was announced, and he's a public figure, so he has to deal with the consequences of it. The folks in the GOP still refer to him as Admiral Ronny Jackson. The lesson to be learned. Six of Coins. Is this about health, wealth, charity? You know, in some ways, we were talking earlier about, you know, captain is in charge of the ship and the crew. You're not asking for a lot of compassion from the captain of the ship. He doesn't have to be huggy-feely or something along those lines. But, you know, even for the lowest sailor first class, you can be kind. You can be respectful. You don't have to show a lot of respect. You're the captain. The respect goes up. But respect is a two-way street. They'll give you a lot of respect, but you got to give some back. And, you know, again, the Six of Coins, this is about the marginalized people and the charity towards them. And I think what we're seeing here is like, it's not going to take a lot of strength to give a little bit of charity going down. I don't know if this is really a health card. It could be. But yeah, and if you want to look at health, this is mental as well as physical health with him. You know, probably more mental health. The guy's got some psych issues that he needs to deal with. Entertainment purposes only. I'm not a doctor and I'm not role-playing one either. But again, if you're drinking, especially if you're drinking on the job and you're berating people when you're angry and you're doing it often in his position, and you know you've been trained and you know better and you know what the expectations are, and you can't handle the stress, you need coping skills. Outcome, Queen of Wands. Maybe with all this, I'm kidding myself here, of course, is that he will look at his actions and try and do something better. I have a hard time believing that. Maybe his wife will help convince him that he needs to do better. Get some help. There's a woman here that can help him along his path, because right now he's kind of acting immaturely. That could be his wife. Okay, sorry, quick break there in case there's a scene change if looking at cards or not. And looking up Ronny Jackson, it looks like he ran unopposed in District 13 in Texas. He beat his Democratic opponent basically 75% to 25% in 2022. That pretty much tells me that he is going to be reelected in 2024 and probably by at least a 2-to-1, if not greater than 2-to-1 ratio compared to his Democratic opponent, simply because the nature of that district is in a very heavy protected red district. So, is there really anything else I want to throw on this guy? Not really. Not that interested in him. I'm glad that the Navy took some steps and dressed him down a little bit for his actions. To me, it's not worth it. Oh, by the way, Trump did put in to have Jackson promoted to a Rear Admiral upper class as opposed to the lower class. He tried that a couple of times, but it went nowhere. So, yeah, he was rewarding him for getting his weight correct. You know what I mean? Oh, well. You know, in the end of the day, it's petty stuff that's not really worth a whole lot of time and effort. And the 11 and a half minutes I put in this video is more in time and effort than this guy deserves. Other than it just illustrates, again, that Donald Trump has this ability to eat around the edges of people's morals and ethics. And some people are more than willing than others to let Trump eat around their morals and ethics because they don't have a lot of integrity themselves. Leave it there. Thank you for supporting my channel and watching this video. Thank you for your comments and your likes and your shares and everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so this video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks just discovering this channel recently or for the first time, welcome. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.